and there's going to be more excitement on them, and they'll be safer and safer and safer as they get built.
I think everyone enjoys testing the edge. Not everyone can be a race car driver, not everyone can be a skydiver. Roller coasters provide that same thrill. They do it safely. A good coaster ride will get your heart pounding and get your adrenaline rushing. It'll make you feel alive.
Paul Rubin estimates he has ridden thrill rides over 12,000 times. He has never had an accident and believes even the most extreme rides are safe. But Paul isn't America's only obsessed thrill ride test driver.
Coming out of your seat. Coming out of your seat. Negative G-forces.
Weightlessness.
Controlled chaos.
People who are excited about themed entertainment want to know what's coming next. Especially thrill ride people, who we call foamers. If you get excited about anything in themed entertainment, you're like foaming at the mouth.
They are called the American Coaster Enthusiasts, or ACE, a group of over 30,000 psyched-up thrill seekers.
We talk about coasters ad infinitum, ad nauseum, and just have a hell of a good time. And it's not just roller coasters. We are park enthusiasts. We enjoy all the stupid rides in the park, from the biggest to the smallest, and just have a great time and whoop it up, and people can look at us like we're crazy people. We are.
The American Coaster Enthusiasts group is a combination of thrill seekers and people who are avidly determined to quantify the ride and quantify the thrill of the ride.
Sweet mother of pearl, and there's no messing around. Straight into that first hill out of the get-go, and then it's like you're looking straight down, baby. Woo!
And the only thing between you and the ground is that strap holding you in.
But no safety provisions can protect riders who are determined to ignore them. Some riders will actually court danger in an effort to increase what's known as airtime. Airtime is the exhilarating sensation common to today's thrill rides when riders are momentarily free of the forces of gravity.
It's the only place you can get a negative G level without going into a high-performance aircraft. Airtime is one of the reasons why these large 200-foot towers are showing up where you drop or free fall down in a carriage that has no connection to anything other than a guide rail.
But to maximize this ultimate rush, some thrill seekers will actually loosen their safety restraints.
When I would go to an amusement park, I would worry about hard mechanical failures, and those are fairly rare in this industry. What is far more common, and is the cause of probably most of the accidents, is rider error. And some of that's deliberate.
It's the height, it's the adrenaline. But the only bad part about it, they need to go a little faster. Loosen the belts up, don't sit in as tight, pick your feet up when you're on drops.
If riders loosen the restraints, perhaps to get more air, to feel more comfortable, that's not a good thing. They should wear the restraints as snugly as possible. If I loosen the restraint, and the restraint is not against my body, if the coaster or whatever I'm riding slows abruptly, then I'm going to slam into that restraint.
People who stand up on roller coasters and try to defeat restraints, they should be ejected from the park. All they do is cause more roller coasters to have more restraints put on them, and they make it less fun for the rest of us who want to ride responsibly and just have fun.
Statistics show that reckless riders account for up to 80% of thrill ride fatalities. One death in 1999 was reported to be directly related to rider misbehavior. On August 23rd, Timothy Fan was riding the Shockwave at Paramount's Kings Dominion Park in Virginia. It's a stand-up coaster featuring steep vertical loops, which require riders to wear a safety shoulder harness and a waist-level guard. Timothy's coaster had completed all the twists and loops and had accelerated around a final 180-degree turn at about 40 miles per hour when Timothy was ejected from the ride. He died from head injuries sustained on a metal walkway below the track. Investigators say that Timothy had somehow freed himself from his safety restraint, but Fan's family disputes the charge. Since they are potentially dangerous, at the entrance of almost every thrill ride, signs are posted which warn riders about the potential prohibitions and dangers of the ride they are about to experience. Sometimes rider error can be attributed to just not paying attention.
A lot of people, when they're in a park, don't bother to read signs. They make an assumption that they will be told how to hold, how to behave, and what this ride is going to do, and they make other assumptions about the safety devices on the ride and how they work. Instead of reading the signs, they just do, and sometimes that can create a problem.
But how do you keep young children who can't read and don't always follow instructions safe?
The most serious place where signage becomes a problem is in kiddie rides. And a lot of small children are injured because the ride operator says keep your hands and feet inside the car. They don't listen to strangers. And really, the ride operator should be talking to mom and pop and saying, please tell your kid, keep their hands and feet inside the car and pay attention to what I'm telling them, so they'll have a lot of fun on this ride.
These are very young children, and they have written warnings, but, you know, David was 5, he couldn't understand the written warning, and it's not, the warnings are not targeted to parents to watch their kids' body parts.
Kathy Fackler's son David was seriously injured in California in 1998 on Disneyland's Big Thunder Mountain Railway. He was riding with his mother when his foot became wedged between the car and the track.
We had the lap bar in place, you know, across our laps. And as the train comes into the station, it makes a temporary stop about, I don't know, 10, 20 feet before the platform. And I believe it's some kind of a safety thing. But the man who was riding behind us said it looked like David mistook that for the end of the ride and tried to get off. And my arm, you know, because my arm was around his shoulders and the lap bar was in place, it kept his body in, but his foot came out the open side. And the people who were waiting on the platform yelled to stop the ride and that his foot's out, but it never occurred to me that they were yelling at me because I had my arms around my kids, and the ride operator didn't see it in time and they couldn't stop the ride. And so as the car started up again and came into the station, his foot was pinned between the platform and the side of the car, and the force of it tore it virtually in half.
David was pinned to the track for 20 minutes before rescue workers could remove him. He spent 25 days in the hospital, but has now made a full recovery. Since David's accident, Kathy Fackler has spearheaded an effort to get better accident report information from amusement parks.
I would like to see reasonable, low-level regulation, both at the state level and at the federal level. All I'd like to see at the federal level is nationwide accident reporting of some level, broken bones, etc., that goes into a central database just to process it through so that we know what's out there.
Yet, considering her family's tragic experience, Kathy Fackler's research into the amusement park industry has led her to a surprising conclusion.
I feel that I know the dangers a little bit better now, and not just through David's accident, but through all of the research that I've done and the people that I've talked to. And so I think that parks are extraordinarily safe, considering what goes, the mechanical, you know, nature of them, if you're aware that you're loading your children onto heavy machinery. You have to have that kind of mindset going into it.